Now the other dog movie, practically the same film.
I loved it.
Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. Are we going to review Sergeant Stubby a second time? You know what? I actually have some more thoughts. What if Stubby was in World War II? Don't know how they do it. He'll definitely end up in blackface somehow. Not sure how, but I gotta see this. So we just got out of Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs, and like Sergeant Stubby, they've been playing for a couple of weeks. I don't know if this one's gonna be, with the Avengers coming out in a couple of days, I don't know if anything in there is gonna be playing after a couple of days, except for like Black Panther and Rampage and unfortunately Super Troopers 2 probably. They're gonna need a lot more theater space in there, but no, I'm kind of late into the game on this. Sorry it took me this long to get around to seeing the movie. I was wanting to work it out to where we could see Sergeant Stubby in this on the same night.
Yeah.
When is this gonna happen again? They never make dog movies.
I like dog movies.
Yeah, see, so I like shitty dog movies. Like, I mean, I like good dog movies too.
Well, I don't like Old Yeller or anything. I don't want to cry.
You're more of a Savage Sam woman.
I've never seen that.
That's the sequel to Old Yeller. They get another dog.
Oh.
Since, it worked out so well with the first one. I like shitty dog movies. Like, you throw a talking dog in there, it could be the worst I'm not even a dog person, but you put in like a talking dog and a shitty, stupid talking dog movie, holy crap, I'm fucking in.
Show Dogs is right up your alley then.
Unfortunately, it is. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck so hard, because it looks like someone set out to write their own Tequila and Bonetti episode, and then a brick fell on their head beforehand.
I just want to see it because I want to see how bad it is, and also, I do like dogs. I want to still see it. I know it's going to be bad. It looks like it's going to be terrible, but...
We'll talk about all of the... We'll have a day where we watch all those dog movie DVDs I have at home.
The dollar ones?
Yeah, like Dog Napped, Army Dog, something about a race that's got the word wiener in there as a pun.
Which one's the one that has John Lovitz in it?
I think
like
that's
Dog Troopers?
Something like that. I can't remember. Space Buddies, I'm sure, is thrown in there somewhere.
Yeah, I never watched that.
Me and Lloyd watch them all the time. He feels vastly superior after he watches those. Ow, my penis!
Your drink was there.
Exactly.
I didn't even...
So, what'd you think of this movie?
I loved it, and of course it's beautiful because it's a Wes Anderson movie.
Sure.
The score was really cool, really good.
The movie is, if you haven't seen the trailer, how do I even start? It's about 20 years in the future in Megasaki, Japan. I believe that's what they say. Where it's about 20 years in the future, and there's this outbreak of this dog flu, and like snout fever, and a bunch of other shit. So the dogs are all quarantined to Trash Island, where a majority of the story, the dogs have been kind of living there for about 6 months. And a young kid who is the nephew of this mayoral, the mayor of this city, and he's running for re-election, and he's very anti-dog. Like, they don't even want like a cure or anything, they just want these dogs dead.
They're cat people.
Yeah. It's, we cat people are like this.
You guys are monsters.
Yeah, just send them to a fucking island. I'm kidding. So his nephew, the mayor's nephew, he flies this little single-engine plane and he crashes on the island so he can go there to rescue his dog, who's also like his bodyguard dog. And meanwhile, in the actual city, the election is going on, and the mayor is running against this science candidate who has developed a cure for this flu going on. And the movie it's not afraid to really show how kind of rough this situation is. Pardon the fucking pun. But just thought about that the second that word came out of my mouth.
This review's gonna be full of puns.
Oh, they like that movie? Woof! So, we gotta rate it like the old Video Hound
I
book
love
with
those,
the four
with the bones.
bones. Yeah. They gave Caligula a woof, goddammit. That deserves 1,000,000 bones. It had 1,000,000 bones in the film. No, so when you're spending time on Trash Island with all of these dogs, like, these dogs look fucked up. And the movie's really not afraid to show that. Like, between, like, a dog losing his ear at one point. Like, they look like they've been living on just this garbage island for, like, 6 months.
Like underweight and
Yeah.
fleas and just
Mhm.
dirty and looking for scraps of food, even though it has, like, maggots on it.
But you're never really sitting there, like, horrified. Like, it's horrifying to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're actually watching the movie, it's handled with such a sense of humor.
It has that
and-
Wes Anderson touch that makes it cute.
Yeah, it does. It makes it not... It's not that you're sitting there laughing at these malnourished dogs sitting there on this island and kind of fighting amongst themselves and shit. But it is handled in a way that makes it not a depressing sit. That you're not sitting there like, oh God, for the love of Christ. Like, you're not sitting there like that in the movie. And it is a funny film. Like, while the dogs, they're all very dirty and they're patchy. They got, like, rotten teeth. Some of them just have, like, just their eyes are blackened and just covered in grime and dirt. It almost feels post-apocalyptic in a way. Like, it does. The way that there are, like, gangs of dogs on this island, they all are fighting each other over food and survival. It almost kind of does feel like a post-apocalyptic dog film here. And they talk, too, so it's just like a boy and his dog. And, where was I going with that? But no, it still has a good sense of humor. How all the dogs, they all I like it when they all hear something and they all turn their heads simultaneously really quick, or when they get in a fight, it does that cartoon thing where it's like a
giant
cloud
and you just see foots and like arms. And I like how many dogs were there? There was 5.
It was about 5.
Like, you can tell which voice is who.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I like that. And then you can, like, I like the Jeff Goldblum dog. He's like, hey, did you hear about that rumor? Where do you hear all these rumors?
yeah,
And he's like, I don't know, I just listen to conversations.
they still spread rumors. They have love interests, and they do a good job of making you feel like these dogs have kind of known each other and been in this pack for again about 6 months. You get to find out little things about their past, where their lives came from.
Yeah, like Edward Norton was kind of a spoiled dog.
Yeah,
And he was, I don't know the dog's name, I forgot. But Edward Norton is like, all spoiled, and he'll be like, all right, let's take a vote. And then they'll all be like, yay, and then you would hear
Bryan Cranston
be like,
would
nay.
Bryan Cranston would usually get outvoted because he's the one who's the stray. You have one like the Bill Murray one who worked at a sports arena. There's another one who was in commercials. There's the Scarlett Johansson one who shows up a few different times.
He's a show dog.
Yeah, who's a former show dog. And even though they're walking around and talking, kind of like with Sergeant Stubby a little bit, they do a good job of animating how these dogs move. Like how they'll kind of circle around a little bit. You put a dish down and they kind of circle around a little bit in front of it. They add... Even with the show dog, how she was kind of posing and everything is similar to kind of how you'll see a dog do that in some scenes, but in some like different dog shows. And it also does a good job with the language in the film, because a lot of it's in Japanese, but
There's no subtitles sometimes.
yeah, they do a really cool job with that. maybe some scenes will have a narrator. Maybe some scenes will have not subtitles, but it might be on television. And so you'll have someone there who's kind of saying what's going on. Even in conversations, there may be one or two words that you'll pick up to where you get the gist of what they're saying. Mm-hmm. Or even just by tone. There's never a moment where it's confusing when people are talking to each other. It's really clever how they do this without just straight up just showing subtitles on the screen.
Yeah, they did it in a creative way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would have an interpreter
or one girl who's bilingual.
Yeah.
Who's an exchange student. She's the one with the white afro you see in the trailer.
Yeah, it was creative with the it wasn't just like white blank subtitles at the bottom. Or
what'd you think of like the humor in the film, or like the part where I like this sequence a lot, where there's a part where where they kind of get separated. It's Bryan Cranston and the kid, but then
when they go into the incinerator,
the 4 other dogs are still you see part of this in the trailer where they're on that little like kind of crane thing going across. That ends up separating at one point, and then these 4 dogs
it's like crushing
fire. There's like lava,
incinerator and stuff,
and they're not they're not getting hurt really. They're just,
they avoid everything, and it's going on for like 2 days because Bryan Cranston and the kid, the pilot, it says like 1 hour later they keep walking, they kind of bond a bit, and then they spend the night like, sleep. So it's been at least like a day and a half that these dogs are in this trash compactor.
Yeah.
And then they come out and they're like, you've been getting washed and we come out here trying to survive this.
Like now the stray chief is all like clean looking and everything, and they're all blackened and dirty and look disgusting. Yeah, no, there is some funny stuff in this movie. The movie I wouldn't say is by and large like ha-ha funny. Like
it's a Wes Anderson ha-ha funny.
No, yeah, I mean it is that, like, but it's consistent. There are laughs that I got out of the movie. It's not one that I was necessarily consistently laughing through, but it was consistently very interesting. Visually. And entertaining. And it was entertaining. It was unique, like in a sea of, the usual kind of stuff that I see week after week after week. Mm-hmm. It's nice to have something fresh like this out there. With it being a Wes Anderson film, you may have already decided whether or not you want to see this film.
Yeah.
Because like every Wes Anderson movie, it is a very Wes Anderson film. And if you don't like that, if you don't like him, if you don't like that style of quirk or humor, it's like that in this too. But I mean, who knows? Every person I know who doesn't like Wes Anderson has at least one that they like.
Yeah.
And every person I know who loves Wes Anderson has at least one they don't like.
Yeah, mine. What's your favorite?
My favorite? Rushmore.
Rushmore. Is that the one I didn't like?
Probably.
The one that was kind of rapey to me.
My favorite.
Right up my alley.
Yeah, you didn't like Rushmore as much as me.
I think that's the one I don't like as much.
I mean, that was the first one of his I saw. I saw that in the theater when it came out.
It just made me uncomfortable sometimes, but
yeah.
I understand why someone would like it. But I would say this is one of my favorites now.
I'd have to, something like that, I kind of have to give a little while before I'd be like, okay, where do I put this on the rank of his other movies? Because I actually really do like him a lot. Mm-hmm. The only one that I really didn't like was Moonrise Kingdom.
That's one of my favorites. I know, that one's like Wes Anderson on cocaine.
That movie is Wes Anderson doing an impression of Wes Anderson. I have a good time at his movies. I'm I'm more often than not very entertained by him, or at least it just feels like something fresh. I mean, granted, they all pretty much have the same tone with one another. It's a tone he's good at. Like, he pretty much mastered it from his first couple of movies. But, admittedly, like, it'd be nice to, at some point, see him do something that isn't necessarily branching away from his visual style, because, you know, that could still work in any genre that you're given, but it would, I don't know, like, it would be cool to, at some point, maybe see him take a crack at, I don't know, a horror film, or...
I don't know, I don't think he would be very good. I mean, who knows? I mean,
at least
John Krasinski did it, so...
Sure, yeah. I would like to see that. Like, something that's not in really the genre that all of his movies are in.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could still have that same visual style in it. Stanley Kubrick had a similar visual style in a lot of his movies, but they're all very, very, very different from one another. But the movies in tone and genre and everything are very different from one another. Wes Anderson, as much as I like the guy, as much as I think he is very talented, he is a very talented filmmaker, and I do look forward to whenever he puts something out. For 20-some years, it really has been quirky comedy, quirky comedy, quirky comedy. And sure, there are serious stuff in there. There is moving stuff and great things and in all of them. I didn't like Moonrise Kingdom, but there were parts that are still fine.
Yeah.
And visually, it's a good-looking film. It would be nice to see him try to do something else, if anything, to see if he could.
Yeah, I would still see it.
No, I would too. Forget it! It looks like there's no laughs in there. Where's Bill Murray, goddammit?
That would be funny if he was in it. Like, something like in Zombieland. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, he's in that.
Yeah. No, I forgot if that was the name of the movie. But...
Zombieland, where he turned up as himself.
Yeah, that was funny. I like how this movie's a PG-13.
Yeah.
I don't think Fantastic Mr. Fox was... That was PG, right?
I don't remember. Shh, it's a secret.
Like, okay. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
So that just sounded really weird and hoarse. And...
You know me. I get weird sometimes. I'm wearing jammies.
Jammies? Ew, don't do that. Don't turn into a man baby. He does that all the time, by the way.
What? Suck my thumb and on my pajamas?
No, I meant you always try to fake do it and try to gross me out.
Oh, it's just to gross you out?
No, he doesn't. Well, yeah. You don't really do it. I didn't mean.
I'm like, holy shit! Do I do that in my sleep? Fuck, that's embarrassing.
I would have told you that a while ago.
You never tell me, but thank God you pointed it out right now when we're on camera. We're not even live. I don't know why I'm keeping this in here. I always do stuff to try to gross her out. It's hilarious.
No, you're always like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, you're not.
I'm very sorry.
So weird.
I'm so humiliated. Why must I have this much shame?
Anyways, about the movie.
Yeah, sure, why not? No, I recommend the movie. I do. I had a good time with it. It's visually very fucking appealing. It does have some laughs in it. The characters are cool. It's very, very well fucking made on a technical aspect. It's very impressive. And even script-wise, too, and the direction and everything. It was an all-around fun and entertaining movie.
Yeah, I agree. Visually, it was... I mean, it's a Wes Anderson movie, so I'm never going to be like, that's so ugly. I would never think that about it.
Sure.
I mean, maybe he'll have a slip-up maybe sometime soon, but... They're always... What?
I'm just trying to think of what... it turns out he's the director of, like...
It's like macaroni, like dried macaroni.
What the fuck? I don't get this movie.
Glitter and...
Lame.
Cotton balls.
I don't see anything here.
Did he have, like, a brain damage recently.
I don't know, but it's genius.
Yeah, I would say if you don't like Wes Anderson, you should still check it out just because it's visually really beautiful. It's still gonna have those quirks there, but I still say see it. But you won't be disappointed if you are a Wes Anderson fan.
Probably not, unless I
don't think they
but
would, but
no, I enjoy the movie. But you know, for
well, I'm not gonna promise anything. I guarantee.
See, this is why you make mistake. This is why Brian owed every single person who watched our review of Blair Witch.
What did he say?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
I was seriously making that up as I was going along.
I was like, what did he do?
He said, I guarantee you will love this Blair Witch film, or else you come to me, I'll give you your money back.
Here's my address.
Ooh, you are going to regret that, sir.
Yeah. Like he said, I agree with all that.
About Brian?
No.
Don't agree with that. That didn't happen.
Oh, I meant with your... You knew what I meant.
I knew what you meant, sweetie. All right.
The important thing is, I knew what you meant.
The important thing is that I'm wearing Mario pajamas right now. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.